Follow the right path. Nkechi and Nzube are siblings. With Nzube being older, their parents died when they were young, leaving them with only their house. So, because their parents were kind when they were still alive, so people from the village helped them with the little they had. So the richest man from the village decided to sponsor Nzube through university level. Nzube was very happy and grateful. He promised to get a good job and rescue his family out of the shackles of poverty. Nzube wrote JAM to study civil engineering and came out with a very high score of 300 out of 400. The man was very happy that he bought Nzube a new smartphone. Nzube and his sister thanked him. He then got admission into the university in the city. On the day of Nzube going back to school, the man took him in his car to the city where Nzube would be schooling. So Nzube entered the school, and the man prayed for him and wished him the best of luck, and also told him to be careful. Nzube left inside the school and went into the lodge he would be staying, so he had a roommate. Nzube was brilliant but made the lecturers take a liking keen to him. They made him the course rep. He was also the leader at the Scripture Union Youth Fellowship in school. He was doing well, although his roommate was the opposite of him. He didn't let that bother him. In his second year, his roommate started disturbing to join his group, and anytime he asks, the roommate would just smile and say he asked questions too much like a girl. He would just stop asking and smile back. By second semester, it became worse, that some group of boys started disturbing him and threatening him, also telling him the benefit of joining them. One day, he was in his lodge, some boys came there and attacked him, asking him where his roommate went to, and anytime he say he doesn't know, they increase the beating. So they left him after beating the hell out of him. His roommate came back and asked him what happened to him, and he told him what happened. The roommate was really angry and told him. The roommate then convinced him of joining so that he can return the bad favor back to them. He then accepted he joined them, and they threw a party, so he came back after the initiation party and had a discussion with his roommate. He said, "I thought it was just a normal group of boys, that after beating those boys that it was over." Nzube said, "They play my guy, the party we threw. Do you think it was just for the success of beating those boys?" He laughed. "That was your initiation party, ooh," his roommate named Chizoba aka Capon as his nickname said while smiling. "Hun, you guys do drugs and are also cultist." "No, ooh, I don't want to join," he laughed and said, "So you just want to make use of us and dump us? You must be very stupid and delusional if you think that it just ended there. You dey mad. See, make I tell you, we dey inside this thing. No going whether you like or not. And before I forget, we get delivery job this night, ooh, and you must come if not," Capon said, hissing at him, and left the room. As night came, Nzube followed Chizoba. Chizoba gave him small Ziploc bags with substances in it. They left the lodge and went with a car. On their way, they reached the delivery place, and they never knew it was a setup. So Chizoba told him to go and deliver it while he waits for him in the car. So he went there, and the police caught him red-handed. And his roommate Chizoba ran away. The police investigated him and found out his school and everything about him, even the other people in the gang. So the police told the school management and they expelled him from the school. They also told his sister, and it was also broadcasted on the news that he was taken to court and was given 15 years imprisonment. So the news spread round the village about Nzube. The man sponsoring him was very disappointed that he didn't agree to sponsor his sister, so he stopped sponsoring her in secondary school. Nkechi cried and said, "Thank God I will finish secondary school next week." So after her last paper, she was going home and she met this man in his car. He asked for directions around the village, and she gave him. She did not know that the man likes her a lot. So the next day, the man, whose name is Ifeanyi, saw her again and asked if she would like for them to have a discussion. She said okay, and they went to the local eatery called Ada on Top, so they both sat down and ordered for drinks. "Hope I didn't disturb you as I called you out here," Ifeanyi said. "No, you didn't," Nkechi said. "So tell me about yourself," Ifeanyi said. Nkechi told Ifeanyi everything about her. "Okay, I have heard you. I am willing to sponsor you through university, and if you also want to further, I would continue sponsoring you," Ifeanyi said. "Why?" Nkechi asked. Because I like you and I would also love to marry you, but I can wait until after your graduation. And also because I didn't go to school because of my parents weren't able to afford it, so I want my wife to be, which is you, to attend school. Ifeanyi said, "Haven't you heard of what happened to my brother from the villagers?" Okay, let me tell you, Nkechi told him everything that happened to Ifeanyi and why the sponsor refused to sponsor. After all these you heard from me, do you still like me? Nkechi asked him. Yes, you aren't your brother, so why won't I like you? Don't let others' judgment about your brother. Speak about your life. Ifeanyi told her she was happy and thanked him. She also accepted to be his girlfriend when he asked her. So when she wrote JAM and got admission into a university in the city, the same one her brother went to, but at a different branch because the university has a different branch for science and art students. So she wants to study law, so that she can become a lawyer and save her brother. So she went to school, the boy took her to school, and she had her own lodge, and she doesn't have a roommate. Ifeanyi, her boyfriend, was very rich, so anything she wanted, he provided it. She made friends with the big girls in her department, and she started living an expensive lifestyle. Her grades dropped and her boyfriend was informed. He told her, but she didn't care to listen. He didn't bring it up again because he loves her and didn't want to offend her. So he traveled out of the country for a business appointment. He told her about it. She wished him well, they were communicating well on the phone, but then within some period he noticed that her behavior has changed anytime he asked her. She says nothing, ooh. So he assumed maybe because she taught he is cheating on her. So he made up his mind that if he comes back, he was going to marry her, not going with the initial plan again, just to assure her that he is all hers. Unknown to him that Nkechi was cheating on him with a lecturer, and the lecturer likes her. When he came back, he wanted to surprise her. He went to her lodge. The lecturer opened the door and Nkechi came out later wearing something barely covering her body. He asked, "What is the meaning of this?" and left. Nkechi didn't bother to beg him. The next day he came to her class. He apologized to her for not being here physically with her, and also not telling her about his return, and also said that he has already forgiven her, he proposed. But she rejected, and said that he didn't go to school, and that she needs someone educated, that he isn't her level, or in her class, and that she doesn't even want to give anything to do with him, and that it was over between them. Were you even dumb that you didn't see the signs I was displaying, and you even still came to apologize? You are a big fool. Well, thanks for sponsoring me to this level. My new fiancé can take care of that now. And he is educated unlike you, she said and left. Ifeanyi stayed on the floor and cried. Later he stood up and left. Nkechi got pregnant, and the lecturer named Mr. Tunde stopped her from coming to school, so she was now a full housewife. Everything was going well. Until after 2 years, he was caught with some bribe money, and that was how they sacked him. Things became very difficult for them, and she had 2 children. The first one was 1-year-old while she was still breastfeeding the other one. So one day her fiancé was in a ghastly motor accident that took the life of her first child, too. She cried, and her soon-to-be in-laws of 2 years chased her out of his house. So she went back to the village with her child. No source of income, and she was a breastfeeding mother. She went to beg Ifeanyi. But he has moved on, and she came on the day of his traditional marriage, and his sister chased her away. Her baby died suffering from malnutrition, and she also died of hunger and leukemia too. Because the villagers were reluctant to help them, the villagers buried her body in the forest because nobody was her family member, and when the brother heard of what happened to his sister, he committed suicide in prison. Their stories were spread across the village and were told as tales by parents to serve as a warning and example to their children that karma is real and they should be careful out there, and they should also follow the right path. Please like, subscribe, and share this dramatic tale to your friends. Also feel free to leave your thoughts. Don't also forget to hit the notification button for all, so as not to miss out on any of our tales. Only on Tales Promise Tells. Moral lessons. Be mindful of who you surround yourself with. Nzube was a good person, but he made the mistake of trusting the wrong people and ultimately paid the price for it. Don't be blinded by greed and ambition. Nkechi let her desire for a better life lead her astray, and the consequences were devastating.